All right, so I wanted to do a quick video with architecture students for setup of a new document. So you guys all have the various, the blocks folder that I've given you with all of this. You have, and then depending on your class, you might have you have one of these couple of file templates, okay? So really quick, since I gave you the template, you're going to have, if you look up here, your layers, which were all created by me before, and your object snaps should be the same. But you got to remember that there is such a thing as operator settings versus file or template settings, okay? So operator settings, if I were to go to a new document, and what you guys might want to do is actually clipboard copy this information from the document that you had it. If your setup is incorrect, I'm just going to, I don't know why now it's coming up with drawing 7 or why that's on there, but if that's not what I want either. Drawing 7, drawing 8. I don't know why it's putting there on here. So I'm going to go file new, see what happens here. I'm going to select drawing. I'm just going to say open. And I'm really hoping that the content that was just showing in that drawing is not automatically now saved as something else. And this is going along really slow. Might be time to reboot AutoCAD or check for updates. So open drawing's working. Sorry about this. Try it one more time. I'll go to new drawing, say open. Maybe that's what it is. Okay, this is what you should have. So if you have this on your screen, remember, I think grid is a nightmare. And what you're going to do is this. You're going to just start typing the word units. You want to go ahead and make sure that the top of this is set to architectural. Okay. Precision, it's saying down to 1/16. I wouldn't worry about that. I would just make this down to 1/2. Okay. So all I've done is toggle this to architectural and this to 1/2, and I'm going to tell it okay. Second thing I'm going to do is shift and right click. I'm going to go to OSNAP settings. And for architecture, let's just go ahead and do this. Along the top here, I want to go to make sure my grid is off. Snap should be off. Polar tracking, you're going to want this box checked. You're going to want to make sure your increment angle is 90. You might be a person who's putting like some 45s and things in your home. If that's the case, you can always come back and you can change the increments on this to 22.5 or 45. Those two are very convenient. I just leave it at 90 and rotate things as needed. Object snaps, you always want to make sure tracking is off. You want to make sure your object snaps are on. And the critical ones that we're going to use in architecture are endpoint, midpoint, center down this left column. Occasionally, you may want intersection on, but that's up to you because I use perpendicular, which can be helpful in locking stuff in a little better. I always keep quadrant on. You might have a reason for a circle, but I kind of doubt it. 3D object snap, I've come back across the top. That is turned off. Dynamic input, especially if your computer is chugging along, I would go ahead and keep both of these off. I think it just creates too much content and distraction on the screen. Okay, so we've done two things. We typed in units. We set that to architectural. We set the accuracy or precision to 1/2. We went to object snaps, and the big thing is that we just turned off grid. We made sure we had polar on. If you guys forget what polar is, remember that polar will snap me into, when this green line pops up, it snaps me parallel to the X or to the Y axis, okay? You might also remember you can do this down here on the bottom. You have this little right angle, and that's called ortho. Now, ortho locks you into only X, so even if I move up and down, I can't get away from it, or only Y, which can be helpful in like a house if you were just, snapping out. Let's say you were going, over 10 feet, over whatever, over this way, over this way. That can be a good, helpful starter and make you real quick, but I always just leave polar on, okay? Last thing you're gonna do is type in the word dim style. Remember, you never have to click inside of the command window. Style. I typed it in twice. DIMST. And it usually pops up auto prompts when you get there. We're going to go ahead and do some modifications. So I click modify. Don't forget you have to click set current when you're done with everything. Okay. So I'll just start right here, symbols and arrows. Actually, let's go over to text. That's a better place to start sometime. Actually, let's go to primary units. That's even better, okay? Because we have to make sure that this matches what we set up before. So here I go decimal. I come down and I select architectural, just like I did before. Precision, this has to match as well. So we're going to go select 1/2 of an inch. Under here, fraction format, we want this to be diagonal in architecture, okay? So architectural, 1/2 precision, diagonal fraction format, okay? We're going to go to text now across the top. Text height in architecture is real easy. I just make my text height 4, okay? Because that's the wall thickness and that's easy enough to see on a plan. And then right here, offset from dimension line, this is always 1/2 of whatever text height is. So in this case, I just type in 2 inches, okay? That's cool. We don't need anything else to change here, but here we do on symbols and arrows, okay? We don't use the arrows at the end of the leader lines. So what we do is we change these to architectural ticks. Once you change the first one, so I got that right up here. Remember, it was closed filled before. I selected architectural tick, and leader closed filled for this one is totally fine, okay? But I do want to change this. I want to change my arrow size. 1/8 of an inch is really, really small. In center mark, 1/8 of an inch, it's very, very tiny. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to like a 1-inch arrow. And in this case, I'm going to change this to a 1-inch center mark. And in this case, break size, that's telling you how much you have between between here and the dimension line, how much space they give you. I'll change that also to 1 inch. We'll just keep them all consistent, okay? So you don't have anything else to do. Symbols and arrows, change it to architectural tick, arrow, and center mark, and break. Let's change them all to 1. Go over to text. We're going to make our text height 4. This is something I changed. This is right here, offset from dimension line. That went to 2. Go over here to fit. We don't have to change anything. Again, unit format is architectural. Precision is 1/2 of an inch. Fraction format is diagonal. When you're done with all of that, you click OK. And then you must click Set Current. Okay? And once you do it, you go Set Current, and you should be able to close it. All your stuff is saved. Remember, don't draw on the 0 layer. But now I can use the apostrophe symbol. So it's still set to inches, but if I wanted what does the architectural unit do? Well, it makes it so instead of, if I type in 10 right now, guys, it's going to come out as 10 inches, okay? But now, if I go ahead and draw a line and I want it to be 10 feet, I just go 10 apostrophe, okay? AutoCAD still understands everything in terms of inches because we didn't change that. And the reason we don't change it to feet is because anytime you get inside of a foot, now you're going to be dealing in a fraction. So that's why we just keep everything in inches. Same thing. I can type in 120 because I know that that's 10 feet and you should be good. So if you have any questions, holler at me, but that is it.